Thank you. So AI has completely revolutionized the way that we are creating software, completely changed the way of coding, completely changed the rules there. But this is only the beginning, because the real disruption is still ahead of us, and it's going to come from the way that we deliver software. And in my wildest dream, when I wrote Artifactory in the beginning, I could have never imagined this magnitude of a change coming. And this is exactly what I want to share with you on stage today. But let's start exploring first the coding transformation. And what we are witnessing is that the software supply chain is actually moving to the hands of the developers. Developers are actually taking responsibility end to end, and we're seeing that largely by the large appearance of coding agents in the past 2 years, basically moving from just smart code completion to full immersive agentic experience in how we are creating code. But it's not only about the experience, it's also about the capabilities of AI. So raise your hand if you know what Swebench is. Anyone? Yeah, a few people know. So Swebench is a collection of coding problems given to LLMs to solve. You can find it on GitHub. It's a very common way to test LLMs and how they are capable of solving coding problems. And you can see that in 2023, the LLMs managed, they were not that great, they managed to get 4.4% of the coding problems resolved. Then a huge, huge, huge jump just in 1 year to almost 72%. And then the creators of Swebench decided, okay, let's make those tests, they're too easy. Let's lift the bar and let's make the test more rigid. And even then, the LLMs managed to show an improvement. So this is GPT-5 from this August, still managing to show some improvement with a set of much harder tests. And the other thing, and NVIDIA spoke about that, is that we are seeing coding agents becoming part of the team. So this is another example, Goldman Sachs, like a traditional bank, adding Devin to his 12,000 developers, and also Google and Microsoft declaring that 30% of their code is actually done by AI. And that leads to a simple formula that the more commits you have and the more merges that you have done by AI, you will have more builds, you will have more artifacts, you will have more releases. And we are actually entering an area where everything is going to explode. We're going to see an explosion of software releases coming our way. And this change is going to do to software delivery what coding agents have done to coding. But it's not only are we ready for this change, it's also do we have the right tools to support this type of change. So just imagine your teams just cruising along, iterating in the full speed in the AI flow, creating software, only to be stopped at a red light that completely kills their productivity. And this red light is of agentic software delivery is what I want to speak with you about today. I will be making a product announcement here on stage that directly relates to that directly relates to the role of JFrog for you as a system of record for these agentic releases. And we'll show you how you can avoid this red light and keep cruising along without it. But first, I want to explore why these red lights even exist, why these gaps even exist. So again, we have some Gartner here, and thanks for coming up with it. This is really crystallizes the idea. And this is what Gartner calls the agentic gap. And what it means is that you want to be here on the right side to enjoy the AI automation. So you want to be trusting the decisions that AI is making almost the same way that you trust a human being. Essentially, it means that you want to delegate autonomy to the AI to the maximum extreme that you can. And this is really challenging in our domain because we are dealing with automation and there is no room for errors, so it makes it much more difficult to achieve agency, like high level of agency in this domain, as we know. And the other thing that contributes to that, and I think Shlomi kind of alluded to that, is what we call agent washing. When he spoke about the FOMO of leaders to just force AI and shove it down the product without really seeing what ROI it's going to bring. And there's been just a few weeks ago an MIT study that actually called this out and caused a little bit of a drop in the AI stocks. This is part of the gap. This is part of what's contributing to the disappointment if you're trying to adopt AI without looking at it from completely different goggles. Because if you come to think about it, to bridge this gap, you really need to come up with a new, authentic and trusted user experience. And with that in mind, this red light that I want to speak about today is releasing your software. It's this point in time where you find yourself versioning a software and managing those versions. And this is normally where you still have to pause or even completely stop. So raise your hand if you find yourself ever deciding on giving a new version to a release. Okay. Not so many? Okay. And keep your hand up or raise it again if you ever found yourself hunting down a release version that's supposed to contain a certain change that you're not sure which release version contains this certain change. Okay, so many more people. So this is still a recurring problem. But what we're actually facing a new creature that is born, and this is what we call the agentic release. It's a continuous release that keeps evolving. And we actually, when we speak about release at the speed of the developer, we speak about this new beast of an agentic release. And we had a slogan at JFrog, actually forward-looking slogan called "Imagine there's no version." And it means that in a non-stopping world where you release continuously, you cannot stop for a version. It doesn't make much sense. It's not practical. Even things like semantic versioning are becoming counterproductive because when you come to think about it, how do you actually negotiate compatibility when everything is moving so quickly? And that imposes a new behavior that we're starting to see in many new software that's being released, of latest as a king. So you're trying to be always on the latest version. But basically, this is what we spoke about at JFrog when we speak about liquid software. This is it. You want to not think about the version and be always on the top. But it's not practical for many of you. I see many of you cringe when you say that, because when we are speaking about trust in enterprise software, it's not an option to be on the latest and not knowing which version you are. With a release moving at full speed, some questions are becoming very hard to answer. For instance, what makes up a release? And how do I give it a version? And how do I track it? And finally, how do I attach metadata to it, like the build and the source that it was created from? This becomes really hard when you're thinking about this new age of release. But in practice, you need that. You need to identify the version for very practical reasons. You need to scale it out physically to more instances, so you need to hone in on a certain version. You need to be able to roll back sometimes. And of course, you need to be able to hunt down a version because you need to find a quality issue or a bug to fix. So at the end of the day, to deal with this hard problem of releases that are moving so fast and you need to somehow pin them down, you need to be snapshotting of every change, of every release that's happening like that. You need to snapshot this version, and you need to keep track of it alongside with its metadata. And that means that you need a system of record. You need a home for these agentic releases, and you need to keep them in a system of record, basically one that can work with the new agentic release management, replacing this fading role of a release manager that is not really relevant anymore. So what you want is you want to be cruising along this software delivery highway, and for that you need a new way, a new level of release developer experience. And you want to record all software binaries. Doesn't matter if they've been created by a human being or created by an AI agent. And finally, you want to shift the experience closer to the developer. Basically integrating with where things are starting to happen, with the new agentic developer stacks that your developers are using end to end. So after I gave you all this long introduction, I want to make an announcement here, and I'm super excited to announce the first agentic repository by JFrog, JFrog Fly. Yeah, some of us were not expecting that. Okay. So basically, I spoke enough. Fly is the foundation of the next generation of the developer experience in the JFrog platform. And instead of me keep showing you slides, I want to do a live demo of Fly. So I want to give you a sneak preview. So if we can switch to the other laptop, no, this one. Cool, and let me see that my network is functional because it's been playing out a little bit. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I know it's hard, but imagine a much younger version of myself joining a startup. This startup is called FrogGen, and we have a very interesting business model. We generate images of frogs. I'll show you our production site. It's not less than amazing. So this is it. It's running in AWS, as you see. And hopefully the network is not playing games with me anymore.
I train in Napa.
So hold on. Let me just switch the Wi-Fi on and off because it helped me before. Okay. Cool. This is ASCII-Frog. That's one of the 3 applications that we have alongside line-art frog and photo frog. And what it does, I can select a frog, like Goliath frog here. It's going to generate the ASCII image. Let's do another one, desert rain frog. Obviously, we have some room for improvement. So as a young developer joining the company, I'm going to take one of the tasks, and I'm going to do my coding stuff here. And basically, I was told everyone works with Fly here at the company, so just log into Fly. So I'm going to open a new tab with Fly. There it is. Cool. So I'm going to log in with my GitHub account, authorize Fly. Okay. So here I am at, this is the home page of JFrog Fly. And since I'm connected with GitHub, I have my 3 GitHub repositories, ASCII-Frog, PhotoFrog, and line-art-frog, alongside with the artifacts that belong to each code repository like that. You can see that 3 of my 3 code repositories are connected. And I will get in. So this is ASCII-Frog. I have some NPM packages here for the front end and for the back end. And I also have a Docker image. It's actually running on top of Artifactory, so it's a regular repository. I can let's use this canned question. How do I upload the package to here? And the answer is you have 2 options. The first is you can install the JFrog Fly application, or you can configure your GitHub workflow, or you can do it the old-fashioned way, like you generate a token and you edit your .npm RC, which is doesn't sound much fun. And we also have the GitHub workflows here. So if I go to workflows, I have a single workflow here that is, it says that it's already configured to resolve and push to Fly. I'm going to open it in GitHub. And we can see that the whole configuration comes down to using a single action here that connects me to Fly. And Fly, by the way, can create the pull request to push this action automatically for you, but I'm saving time, so I'm not going to show it. But I came here to do a job, so I'm going to go to the issues, and then I'm going to pick the first issue. And what this issue is about is adding a colorful name below the frog. Sounds like a super useful feature that everyone has requested. And I'm going to create a branch for it. Oops, let's do it again. So I'm doing the regular development flow. I'm going to create a branch. I'm going to copy over the commit message, the git commands here. But before I do, I want to go back to Fly because I want to check what was the latest release that was done with this application. So I'm going to go back to Fly. Let's open a new chat. And I'm going to ask, show me the changes of the latest release. I think it's going to be fine with my typos. And Fly sync, I have the auto navigation on, so it should actually take me there. And then it says, okay, the latest release was release 85. And these are the artifacts that are part of this release. But I also have some very interesting information here, which is all the semantic information about the release. So I have a summarization of this release. I know it's very small, so I'll read it out. Deliver significant enhancements and performance optimization. I have the YAML file that is connected from GitHub to GitHub that actually created this release. And I have all the pull requests and commits that are part of this release, and I can go to see them in GitHub. So I have all the metadata that I need, and this is unique. I don't know any system that allows you to have all this metadata about the release in one place alongside the release, so this is part of JFrog Fly, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Okay, I'm ready to make the change and do this small feature. But before I do, I see that I'm not connected, so I'm going to connect my desktop. Basically, it entails downloading a desktop application. I'm not going to trust the network here, and I'm going to open one that I already downloaded before. So I'm going to take the Fly app, put it in my application. Now I can just run Fly. Yes, I know I downloaded it from the internet. Cool. So I'm going to sign in. So this is the Fly desktop application, desktop client. And I'm going to sign in with GitHub. And then I'm offered two things. Fly offers me to, download finished, good. It offers me to connect all my package managers and my IDEs automatically to Fly. Sounds good, so I'm going to allow it. And that finished. Let's close the notification. And you can see that out of the box, I have 5 package managers here, NPM, Maven, Docker, .NET, and Gradle. Out of the box, those package managers automatically are set up for me to resolve and push to Fly. But also I have the Cursor ID on my laptop. That's already also been connected to Fly with the MCP. And if I go back to the Fly UI, you can see that I'm already connected. And since Cursor is also connected, I can just open it directly from Fly if I wish. And that puts me in the project that I want to fix. So I'll open up a new terminal. So I'll try to be quick because this is just the mundane developer stuff. I will go and switch to this new branch where I want to make the fix. I'm going to run npm run dev because I want to see the application running locally. And what you can see here is that all my dependencies are already resolved from the Fly Artifactory because of this desktop installation that I've done. So all my clients on my desktop are already using JFrog, already connected to Fly out of the box. And the build finished, so I'm going to go to the application. Yeah, that's my local host copy. And let's see that something works here. OK, common frog. Again, we have some work to do here. Let's make the change. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I know exactly what I need to do. And I'm also saving the word a few tokens. So I will just do it by commenting out the fix. I will save it. The application is reloaded. Let's go back to my browser. Let's go to Goliath. Yeah, and I have a colorful text below. Let's see that it's indeed random. Cool. So I'm ready to commit. I will go back to Cursor. I will use this shortcut, and I will just generate a commit message automatically. I will allow Cursor to do it, and then I will commit and push, and my work is done here. Yes. Okay. Okay, and then just to finish it off, I'm going back to GitHub. Go back to the project. My commit is ready. I'll merge the pull request. So this is like a mandatory step. I create a pull request first. And then a few tests will validate the pull request. Now I'm ready to merge it, confirm. Done. So what just happened is I made a small fix, and I merged the fix, and now a new action is triggered, a new build. The workflow that I showed you earlier is actually running. And this workflow, let's open it up and let it finish. It's going to resolve all the artifacts from Fly. It's going to create the NPM packages, and then the Docker container. It's going to automatically push them to Fly. So I will just wait for it to finish. Okay, so I'm just finishing pushing the container. I think we're almost done here. Yeah, that's the post-job cleanup. We're done. Okay, so I'll go to the job summary. And here I have a summary of the Fly action, including the link to the release in Fly and all the packages that were created. So I'm going to go to this new release. This release is release 135. I didn't really care about naming or giving a version to this release. I really don't care. This is not how I want to deal with my release. And what I can see here is, again, a summary, like added random color styling to the frog names by updating. So this was generated automatically. I can see the pull request with the information that is relevant to the pull request. And now if I go to Fly, I can just say, show me the release that added a random color name. And Fly is going to navigate me back to this release. And yeah, this is, I really completed a my first semantic release with Fly. And this is the way that I manage and find my release in Fly. So this is nice. But I want to take it one notch up, and I want to actually run deployments like that. And for that, I'm going to ask to switch back to the presentation, because there's a few steps involved that I want to explain. So, okay. So this is me working on my cursor IDE. It has the Fly MCP tools already installed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, just deploy change X. And then Fly is going to be reached out from Cursor, and Cursor is going to ask, find me the release that contains change X. And then Fly will say, OK, I found the release for you. Here are the artifacts that you need. And Cursor will figure out which applications are deployable. But since we are deploying Docker containers, we need a secret to tell Kubernetes how to pull the images from Fly. So it's going to ask back from Fly, just give me a pull secret that I can use for this deployment. Fly is going to return the pull secret, the deployment pull secret. And since I never want to use this secret directly with my LLMs, I'm going to store it in my local keychain on my laptop. And finally, deployment is going to happen using this secret. And the secret is going to be used by Kubernetes to pull the images. So that was a long description, and now let's see it in action. If we can switch back to the laptop. So I will switch back to Cursor here, once this is up on stage. Can we go back to the laptop? Cool. OK, so let's run exactly what I demonstrated. Just deploy the release that added random. I'm not even using the same language, because it doesn't matter as long as I'm close enough. And Fly will actually validate before that it's doing the right thing. So it's starting to run. And it's calling Fly, how do I get a release info from Fly? Fly is going to return the result. So I'm running most of it in YOLO mode. Otherwise, it's 20,000 OKs that I would have to click. So I'm trusting it in full way. so how it's going to deploy to Fly. And soon it will come with the steps that it want to take. So this is what it offers me to do. I'll update the application, and I'll use the Fly registry with the secrets. I'm going to tell it to go for it. And now it's going to create the pull secret. It's going to store it in my keychain, and soon it will pop up this dialog that wants me to extract it again from my keychain. Nice. Oops. Let it run. Okay, so it's getting the deployments from Kubernetes, and excellent. Okay, this is actually going and creating the secret. And now it's going to move on to deployment. Okay, now this is just for me to open my keychain for Fly. Okay, so it's moving on with deployment. This is the actual deployment action. So this is already done by Cursor. It's not unique. Yeah, I think that's finished. So this is just the last check. So I can go back. Let me just let it go through. So I'm going back to my AWS production application, and I will refresh the page and go JFrog. Great, I have everything deployed. Thank you. So let's go back to the presentation, just to summarize everything. Cool. So what I've done here is I created a full semantic release management and delivery, basically in a full agentic way. Just based on the changes that the release contained, I managed to do a full software delivery of this release. This comes with zero setup for your builds and package managers for your developers. Full integration into your development environment. So to agentic development environments, we're showing Cursor here, but the same would work with Code Cloud or GitHub Copilot. Doesn't matter. And we showed releases that are natively connected to their source code in GitHub. My goal was to share with you our thoughts about creating a new user experience for managing agentic releases based on their semantics. And of course, hear you out, get your early feedback, and get your thoughts. And a couple of closing words about Fly. Fly is actually running on the JFrog platform, so you can expect the same level of solid, reliable, and scalable infrastructure and foundations that you're used to getting from JFrog. We are going to first roll Fly to small agentic teams, to small AI native teams that are already trusting AI end-to-end. But we will integrate it gradually into the JFrog platform. So this user experience, whether you're a team in a larger enterprise, your experience is going to be, you'll be able to get the same experience of that of a small company in your enterprise. Finally, this was just the tip of the iceberg. I'm super excited by what we currently have on the roadmap and what we want to add to Fly. And Fly is now in a waitlist beta. The waitlist beta is open. You're welcome to scan the QR code, join the waiting list, and get an early experience of Fly. And with that, I want to thank you all, and I wanted to thank the Fly team.